Joining me now is Vanessa Neumann. He's a former Venezuelan opposition diplomat and joins me here in the studio. Good to see you, Vanessa.
Great to see you,
Great to see
as
you in
always.
person. I've known Vanessa for many, many years,
Yes.
of course, after covering Venezuela. And you were so tapped into what's going in Venezuela, but also in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I just want to show viewers again those images of Delcy Rodriguez,
Okay.
right? Being sworn in by her brother, the Rodriguez clan, two well-known faces in Venezuela. She finds herself, Vanessa, in a really difficult situation, right?
Yep, I wouldn't want to be her.
How, and you were telling me, and I remember clearly what you said to me, she won't want to bend the knee to the United States, but then she is going to be flanked by these two henchmen, right, who have huge control, big Chavistas. How do you see the challenge for her? Can she do it, you think?
Well, I think she can walk this sort of narrow path for a while, right? So what she can do is work with Trump to allow what they have always wanted, which is the elimination of the sanctions and for American money and business to come in and improve the oil and rebuild the infrastructure, the electricity, the water, and all of these things that are needed by the Venezuelan people. Hopefully, the money will go to that. The challenge will be if she does all that on bended knee, you'll have the other guys, Gustavo Cabello and Padrino Lopez, who say you're bending the knee too much. Don't forget that they're still a criminal organization, so they're going to say, why are you giving the Americans so much? We want a bigger portion of the pie. And then they're going to view her as a traitor to them. So she's between a rock and a hard place. Play too well with Trump, her own party will do her in. And the other challenge that I think I mentioned is, what happens with the other side? What happens if she is the one who leads the reconstruction of Venezuela? That puts her in a very different position.
I'm glad you brought that in. Look, the United States has been painting her as a moderate, as a pragmatist, maybe compared with the Interior Minister and Defense Minister. She is a moderate, right? But in the grand scheme of themes, she is a shrewd operator behind the scenes, and she has many questions and accusations, not just from the United States, but also from the UN over her crimes in Venezuela. So that's I think it's an important point. But also, if she then runs the country with, the United States playing a pivotal role behind the scenes, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, there are elections. What happens? What happens to the opposition?
Well, that's exactly the concern, because right now, Maria Corina Machado, Mundo González won the 2024 election on Maria Corina Machado's party, right? So it was
because she couldn't stand.
Because she couldn't stand. So they won together. Basically, her machine and her gun. Now, if she were to go back today, which all the Venezuelans were hoping that she would, to be in Miraflores Palace, they want her to take that because she was elected. Now, if you had elections shortly, briefly, within 6 months from now, again, which we shouldn't, but if they did, she would win hands down. Now, if you fast forward to a couple of years, and Maria Corina Machado is the one who has won the Nobel Peace Prize, did all these amazing things, but Delcy Rodriguez oversaw the food on the plate, the water pipelines, the doctors, and the prosperity, and an increase. She could well win an election. I mean, as you know, everything in politics is timing.
How surprised, and you are so well connected, how surprised are you by the words of the US president? She's a lovely lady, and I'm paraphrasing. She's a lovely lady, but she doesn't have the respect. I mean, she won by more than 70% of the vote, right? This is very important. And she overwhelmingly, people follow and embrace Maria Corina Machado and then Mundo González. So were you taken by surprise when you heard his comments that she completely sidelined?
I was taken by surprise, as were most Venezuelans. Well, there was a scenario in my head where this might happen. I just didn't think it would be phrased so blatantly, that it would come out quite like that.
But why then? Why do it? Because she said early on, even before the Nobel Peace Prize, that we're going to give the United States access to oil. So why then sideline her? What is the threat?
I'm not sure. It depends. I think, las malas lenguas, as we say, in D.C. would say it has to do with the Peace Prize. But she also offered that and honored him with it.
Because because she accepted it.
Because she accepted it.
I mean, that's pretty petty.
I'm not going to comment on that, but that's my las lenguas in Washington D.C. said.
The bad tongues. The gossiping.
The gossiping. And now I think that what has, the other thing is that Trump feels that this is an American investment in terms of 150 aircraft and an American operation, and that basically they're gonna run it. And from what I understand, and having been on the phone with an advisor to Trump earlier today, that they want to they feel that they're going to run this. They're not going to take advice from an opposition that, in Trump's view, isn't strong enough, doesn't have enough of a governance plan or recuperation plan. That's not necessarily the case. I don't necessarily agree with that. But I think that that's the thinking that's going on.
Isn't there, very briefly, isn't there a fear, though, as well, Vanessa, that under Diosdado Cabello and under Vladimir Padrino, the two henchmen, of course, of Nicolas Maduro, the men that control really a lot of the narco trafficking and drug trafficking and mineral, of course, and human trafficking, I should say, that Chavismo can consolidate further. Isn't there the other side of the coin that we're not even talking about here?
Well, absolutely, and there is a concern, and we have discussed this, within those of us who have supported the democracy for decades, that we need to. Maria Corina Machado really needs to go back and put pressure from the inside and be with her people, because her support is with her people. And as the days tick by, you are absolutely right. The Chavistas will consolidate. And I think that placing the bet that the rats will leave, the remaining rats will leave the sinking ship, which is the other story going around D.C., is waiting for this system to collapse again. We've seen this movie before. Yeah. It ended badly.
They're going to hold on till the very end in the hope that Trump will get tired of this, and that's it.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Vanessa, thank you so good. Really great, so much to have you here. Insight is so crucial at this juncture. Thank you.